What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Got Next podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Baldwin, my co-host, Donovan Moore.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And today we have Asher Nolting from the High Point University lacrosse team. How you feeling today, Asher?
I'm feeling good. I'm pumped you guys are having me on. I'm excited to I listened to a couple episodes before when you asked me to come on, so you guys got some good content, so I'm pumped to be on here.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that, bro. Absolutely. But today we're gonna be talking to Asher about his future with lacrosse and his years at High Point University and see what's up next for him in the future. So hope you guys like the video, subscribe, all of that type of stuff, and enjoy the intro.
You ready to play, boy?
Yo, turn it up, Slack. I can't hear nothing.
So just right off the bat, man, how old were you when you first started playing lacrosse?
So I think when I first picked up a stick, I think I was 6. I didn't really have any intentions playing it. I was into basketball and football at the time, so I didn't have really any intentions with it. And then I think probably 3rd grade came around and one of my friends started playing, and so it kind of picked up from there, and I said I wanted to do it, and just fell in love with it, and then just grew from there.
Lacrosse is like mainly popular in Maryland, like where we're from, because I think it's our team state officially. I mean, our team sport officially. So how did you really get into lacrosse being from Colorado? Like, because I think of it more as like an East Coast type of sport.
No, for sure. I mean, again, like you said, you guys are from a hotbed, Maryland, being like you said, that's a pretty big sport out there. So for me, again, like I said, people kind of from the East Coast move out to Colorado and introduce the game in different areas. And so, I think my neighbor, his son played at Maryland. And so then it kind of grew from there, and I saw it, and then, just became curious. And then, like I said, in 3rd grade, my friends started playing. So then picked it up from there. But again, we still had to come out to Maryland all the time when I was younger, playing club lacrosse and to kind of play. So that was another thing that kind of made us realize that we're not from the areas, because all the tournaments were where you guys are.
So being from Colorado and being the level of lacrosse player you were coming out of high school, what made you ultimately decide to play at High Point?
I was originally committed to Air Force. I think it was 8th grade I committed. I thought I wanted to stay at home. I thought I wanted to do the service stuff. And it just wasn't for me in the end. And so I think I decommitted my senior year. And I think for High Point, I fell in love with Coach Torpy. He's the man. And, obviously, as Mitch knows, the campus is unreal. And it's kind of hard to beat that with mixed with having Torps there. So, no, I think it was a mix of the guys on the team at the time and, campus, and then obviously the coaching staff. So, no, it's been a great choice, and I'm pumped.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that later for sure. But I know you talked about committing to Air Force in the 8th grade. Like, how did that feel to have an offer in 8th grade, bro? That's pretty big.
Yeah, no, it was a cool thing. I thought, they offered me, and I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. Like, and again, I was so young, and I was like, oh, I could do it. That would be a great choice. And I committed, and I was like, that's a big deal. And it was just crazy to think about that and just have that. You had that rep now. It was like, oh, the kid's committed in 8th grade. I hadn't even played a high school lacrosse game yet. So Looking back on it now, it was kind of crazy, and I'm glad they changed the rules to where you can't really get recruited till you're like, I think it's a junior or something like that. And so, no, I think, it was definitely a crazy time. And I look back at it and I just kind of laugh because I was just not ready to choose what school I wanted to go to at all.
Right. Yeah, I can definitely understand that, especially being 13 at the time.
For sure.
Yeah. So you made multiple all-conference, all-state, all-American teams in high school. So what other schools were you also heavily considering other than Air Force and High Point?
I had a couple offers from probably the top 5 programs. I had the UVAs, the Marylands, all those. And those were later again, like when I decommitted from Air Force. And I think I had Drexel, Villanova. I'm trying to think. I had a lot of offers, and it kind of came down to the final 5. And it came down to just again, High Point, the campus, and then Torps as well. So yeah, no, I had I think towards the end there, I think I had upwards of like, I think it was in the top 20. I think I had all 20 of the top 20 teams off for me. And so that was pretty cool too. Especially, you know, it being so late and they hadn't changed that rule yet. So I technically was like a late recruit. So that was pretty cool.
So among your other accolades, your freshman year at High Point, you were named the SoCon Offensive Player of the Year, and freshman year, you're the first player in the Southern Conference history to win both awards. So what were you expecting your freshman year? Like, did you have that high of expectations for yourself, or kind of what was your expectations coming in?
It's funny to even think about that. You know, going in as a freshman, my biggest goal was just I wanted to contribute to the team. I didn't want to have to wait my turn. And so I came in and just tried to do what I could just to contribute. And then I just gained more and more confidence as the year went on, you know. I mean, I think my first collegiate game was against Duke. And so kind of getting thrown into the fire like that, like baptism by fire, it was an eye opener, and it was pretty cool, but it was a good experience. And, you know, again, like I said, my confidence started to grow as freshman year went on. And the seniors and the upperclassmen did an unbelievable job for me. I mean, they supported me. They helped me out with things that, I mean, most upperclassmen probably wouldn't. So no, it was a awesome freshman year for sure.
Mm-hmm. And with you earning the honors that you did your freshman year, what was your motivation basically to keep you motivated and to stay at that level for the rest of your High Point career?
Yeah, no, for me. I always wanted to be the best at whatever I wanted to do, and that's still my motivation. I want to be the best player in college lacrosse. I want to be the best player in the world. I mean, so just that constant motivation is there. And, you know, I think also going to High Point and it not being a blue blood school of like a UVA, say, or a Hopkins, something like that. Mm-hmm. But I think that also motivated me. I wanted it to become a household name in the college lacrosse community, and I think it's starting to get there. And I think this year, again, we got one more year, and so I think it's going to continue to grow, and I'm excited to see that kind of change for the program. So, again, it was just a kind of a mixture of motivations, but no, I'm still working, still trying to be the best, and yeah, it's all good stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's good to hear, bro. So your sophomore year, the team went 13-3 against schools like Virginia and Duke, and you guys even beat Duke 13-9. So I remember that being like a huge deal for the school. Like, it was all over Instagram. Like, everybody was posting about it. So like, how did that feel for you at the time?
Yeah, no, that was sophomore year again. Like you said, we beat those two schools, and it was at Duke. We beat them. It was a great feeling. Again, it was just you know, it was finally starting to come to fruition of the work that we've been putting in to show people that we can hang with those schools, and that we are a serious contender when it comes to the end of the season and in May. So I think that was a big step for us. And, you know, obviously we didn't make it into the tournament that year, but again, I think that helped us with our success last year with all those guys, with our senior class being on that team, and just knowing that unfortunately those season games, or the regular season games out of conference, don't really matter. It's all about finishing the conference tournament, and we hadn't been able to do that until this year. So again, I think that was another great step for the program, and just great memories from that year too.
So fast forward into the 2020 season, which was cut short due to COVID. What was your initial reaction to having your junior year cut short, and did it also bring a sense of added motivation for the following season for you?
Yeah, for sure. No, I think if you ask any athlete, college athlete, that was a weird time for everyone. I mean, not even athletes, just everyone in general. So when that happened, it was a mixed emotions. It was to the point in the season, I think we were struggling a little bit. We were about to start conference play, and, you know, it happened. We were struggling, and we were starting to turn it around, I think. And so it was the frustration of not being able to see what can you hear me? Sorry. See what the work that we put in to kind of flip it around, and didn't get to do that. And, you know, just having to go home and sit there, and Saturday would roll around and be like, oh, I should be playing a game right now. And it was just a weird feeling. But again, it did add some motivation. Like it was just not take it for granted. Anything that we have. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing that anyone took out of the whole 2020 year of the COVID stuff was, a lot of things that we took for granted were taken away from us. And so just to try to cut that stuff out and just enjoy the little things and enjoy the moments that, you were missing while you're sitting in your living room with your family for 3 months or whatever, 3 months lockdown or whatever we did. So, I mean, that stuff was definitely huge. And so I think that added some motivation and, gave me more time to work on my craft and, come back ready for a good senior year.
And with you talking about working on your craft during the time of COVID, like with that time off, what did you do during that time specifically that would, because like that normally would have been your season?
Yeah, so it was in season. So normally in season, our lifts are a little lighter. And, me and Coach Torby does an unbelievable job. We always try to change something. So, I mean, it was all over social media. People were just like, wow, he gained a ton of weight. And it was just, they wanted me to gain weight to see what my ideal playing weight is. So I think in the season, I think I was playing at like 230. And that was way too big. I was like, I can't do that. I can't maintain that with the weightlifting and all that stuff. So I had to cut that down. So I think my ideal playing weight, I'm at like 215 right now. So I think I'll probably get to 200 before I get back to school. But yeah, no, it was just a lot of lifting and, footwork stuff, shooting every day that I could, and doing lessons. But it was a lot of it was in the weight room. So that was the biggest COVID thing for me, was just trying to get in the weight room at my friend's house as much as possible and just try to put on as much muscle as possible. And so that was the biggest thing for me in COVID.
So this past year, the team was able to win the conference championship against Richmond. And with that being your first conference championship, how did it feel to win the conference for the first time in your High Point career?
Yeah, no, it was an unbelievable feeling. It was it was definitely a monkey off the back scenario. Like I said, sophomore year, we had a great year. We beat Duke, we beat UVA at both their places. And then we get into conference and I think we waxed Jacksonville in the semifinals. So I think that was a fun game. And then going into the championship, I think we weren't ready to win yet, and lose to Richmond in the conference championship, and then obviously my freshman year we lost to Jacksonville in the semifinals. So kind of getting that monkey off the back of winning that SoCon championship and getting into the tournament, well, kind of finally legitimized what we were doing, and it was just a great feeling. And I think anyone on that team can say that it was just a huge relief to finally get that Southern Conference championship and, not have to hear about that we can't finish in May. So that was another great moment.
Yeah, knowing you guys from freshman year, it was cool to see you guys accomplish that. Absolutely. And Tyler Stinson specifically too, because he's in a lot of my classes. That's my guy. But yeah. Yeah,
no, that's Stinson's the man. No, that's I mean, like I said, I mean, Mitch, you were in Millis with us. You were right across the hall from us. So you got to see all the stuff that we had to deal with. So I appreciate. It was nice having you guys along for the journey too. Just knowing you and the other boys. So that was huge.
So after learning that you guys would make the NCAA tournament, we're matched up against Duke. What was the mindset coming into that game?
Hey, they absolutely embarrassed us on national TV, probably 2 months before. And our mindset was we couldn't win this game. There was no one doubted that. We just knew we needed to play a pretty mistake-free game, and we needed some things to bounce our way. And I think we went into that game knowing that we could beat them, and they were just a really good team. I mean, there's nothing you can really take away from that team. That team is well coached, a ton of studs on that team, and they were basically the super team everyone called them, because I mean, if you look at it, they were. I mean, they probably had 7 All-Americans on that team. So again, it was actually funny. We were all at the watch party, and there was speculation, whatever, we could play UVA, we could play Duke, we could play UNC. We weren't sure where they were going to throw us, and so when we finally got the reaction, it's funny that they show our reaction on the telecast thing or whatever, and no one's overly excited, because we all kind of knew that there was no reason to be excited. We knew whoever we played, it didn't matter. we just wanted to get in, and we were just pumped to kind of experience that whole thing. And again, I think it was just a huge growing step for the program just to get into the tournament and just have that game under our belt now. And now we know what we need to do to be successful in the tournament in the future.
After scoring your first ever goal in the NCAA tournament, did it release a feeling, the nervous feelings or any pregame jitters you might have had, or those butterflies coming into the game?
Yeah. It was a weird feeling for me because normally I don't normally get overly nervous, but I always have the butterfly feeling in my stomach. And I think for the NCAA game, I was so calm the whole game, and it was an odd feeling. I was like, it kind of freaked me out that I wasn't as jittery as I thought I would be. And so when I finally scored, I got the normal kind of feeling that I got back again. I was like, all right, there it is. And then it was good, but no, it was an unbelievable feeling. It was unbelievable just being in that whole thing, staying in the hotels, playing lacrosse for basically a week and a half without school. It was an unbelievable deal. And so, it's kind of an addicting thing now. So we're hoping to get back there again and probably go a little bit further this time.
So you eventually scored 4 of the team's 10 goals in that game. Even though the team lost, how did it feel for you to have such an impact on the game?
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing is I just want to eventually, whether I have 0 points or 12 points or whatever it is, the biggest thing is I wanted to win. And obviously, I had an impact on the game, but it just came down to it. It was just, I don't think I even thought about it after. I think it was just more of the sadness knowing that I wasn't going to be able to play with some of my best friends anymore. And so just that feeling was probably more painful than anything else. And so that's definitely been the motivation for this summer. And so it's definitely just thinking about the impact on my game. All I want to do is win. That's the biggest thing. That's the only reason I came to High Point. I want to win, and I want to win with that team and that program. And so, whether I'm playing or not playing, if we're winning, that's all that matters. So that was my biggest thing.
Due to COVID, collegiate athletes received an extra year of eligibility. So what made you want to return to High Point for your 5th year instead of, maybe looking elsewhere, anything like that?
Again, I think it was the biggest thing for me is obviously the guys on the team. I love all the guys. I love the school, love the coaching staff again. And again, I started, they wanted me, my whole recruiting process, whether it was, they wanted me. And so Torps believes in me, and he's done everything he can to make me the player that I am. And so, again, I think I set out to High Point with some goals in mind, and we've definitely accomplished some of them. But again, and I think I said it in the Instagram post, I think there's some things that we want to do as a team and I want to do for this program while I'm there. And so just having the ability to do that just have the chance to do that with one more year, I couldn't pass up on that. And yeah, no. People always ask, like, oh, are you going to go somewhere else? It didn't really even come to my mind. High Point's my home. Those are my guys there, and couldn't just leave them like that. So I had to go back for one more year.
Understandable for sure. And last but not least, what expectations do you have for yourself this final year of eligibility?
Yeah, no, I just want to be, this year for me for sure is being the old man on the team now. I just want to be a good leader and show these younger guys how I was taught to lead from my older guys going through the program. And so, again, for me, just kind of bringing those young guys along and getting them on board with what we did last year, and just showing them how to be successful in the crazy world of college sports. It's going to be fun, and I just want this year to, however many points I score, I just want this program to go places it's never gone. So whether that's the Final Four or whatever it is, I just want to have that year where we can take it a little further than we ever have.
My bad. I had one last question.
No, you're good.
Just a little bonus. So now that collegiate athletes are finally able to get paid, is that something you might be looking at, or any sponsorships or anything?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's a crazy thing. It's been a crazy couple days, actually. People have been reaching out. I've been reaching out, and so it's just cool to kind of have that whole thing. And unfortunately, again, with lacrosse, not making a lot of money probably from some big time sponsorships like these basketball or football kids are going to make, but I'll still, whatever, the ability to do that and use your likeness and image now is just huge for for anyone. I mean, you can, for any sport, you can now do a clinic and not have to be like, oh, it's with a special guest, instead of you can actually use your name, like a picture and your stats and all that stuff. So, no, I think it's a great thing that happened for us, and I'm excited. It's going to be crazy to see where it goes, because some kids are going to be making millions of dollars in college, and it's going to be a cool thing.
Definitely.
Sure. Hey, Dono, I love that you asked that question, because I was actually about to ask the exact same question. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah. I just remembered that. Yeah.
Yeah. Asher, you ever start selling jerseys or something like that? Let me know, bro. I definitely want to ask you about some jerseys.
Yeah. No, I think Torbs texted me yesterday, and he's like, all right, time to start pushing 3-2 jerseys out. So I think they're going to start making them. So I'll definitely try to start selling those things. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, let me know, bro. I give you all the money for it. No discount, no nothing.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you coming on the show, bro.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you coming out, spending time with us.
No, I appreciate it, fellas, and keep doing this stuff. Content's awesome, and thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it, bro. Best of luck to you this season.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, thank y'all for joining in to this episode of the Got Next podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff, and catch us next week. Appreciate it. Peace.
Yeah.